Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, and Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah. This lesson is edifying and informative. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, an evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee. Behold, it is come. Verse 25. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say, peace and safety, and then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. So will I send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall brave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, have spoken it. In the news from the RT. UN issues famine warning. UN issues famine warning. The word famine is from the Italian, as El Apostle Cabal would often emphasize, fame, which means hunger. So the UN issues a warning of hunger, because we are in a time of prophecies coming to pass. We are in the days of evil. Evil means bad time. Eve means time, and ill means bad. Up to 80 million people will be plunged into hunger if climate targets are not met. So they'll blame an obvious famine, which the Lord will put in their spirits to engineer, upon climate change and climate targets not being met. A top official has warned. So blame climate change for everything. After all, that's been the big issue as of recent. That is, over the past roughly 2 years. Climate change. The world is advancing toward a catastrophic future where tens of millions of people will be at risk of famine unless climate change is adequately addressed. The United Nations Human Rights Chief warned at a debate on Monday. Speaking to the officials at the UN Human Rights Council event in Geneva, Switzerland, Volker Turk said extreme weather events were having a significant negative impact on crops, and Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, are the ones that are responsible for creating these significant extreme weathers that are having ill impact on crops, herds, and ecosystems. Not to mention, over the past 2 years, these devils have been burning down farms, different food production industries, well, not industries, but food production facilities, rather, excuse me, and so on and so forth. Buying up land in masses because they are getting ready to realize their agenda, which is to completely subjugate the people around the globe. And they will do so mainly through the RFID microchip. Supporting the noise and the ambiance. But it reads on to say, prompting further concerns about global food availability. More than 828 million people faced hunger in 2021, Turk claimed, and climate change is projected to place up to 80 million more people at risk of hunger by the middle of the century. He added, our environment is burning, it's melting, it's depleting, it's drying, it's dying, and that these factors will combine to lead humanity towards a dystopian future unless urgent and immediate action is taken by environmental policymakers. Under the terms of the 2015 Paris Agreement, often referred to as the Paris Climate Accords, which adopted by 196 parties at the time, signatories agreed to cap global warming below 2 degrees Celsius, above the 1850 to 1900 levels, or to 1.5 degrees Celsius if possible. It is predicted that current policies could contribute to a 2.8 degree increase by the end of the century, according to the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC. Now, these devils, they have a vain imagination that their houses shall continue forever, for as it is written, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. That's the pride of Esau Edom. He believes that he'll continue to remain in the power seat forever. Foolish Edomites. However, Turk said that there is still time to act so as not to deliver this future of hunger and suffering, to our children and their children. And we don't have to. So obviously, they're going to leverage this concern, which they created, by the way, to forward their agenda, which we understand is to ultimately rolling that MOTB globally, okay, mandating it across the globe. But it's a process, and before they're able to introduce a new world order, they have to do away with the old world order, which is what we've been seeing over the past years. They're getting ready to implode this society as we know it. So things are about to get really uncomfortable for many. Pardon me. Forgive me. Reading on. It says, he added, we, the generation with the most powerful technology tools in history, have the power to change it. Turk was also critical of world leaders who performed the geography, of acting to mitigate climate change, but then get stuck in the short term. When confronted by how climate policies might impact tangentiality linked industries like fossil fuels, which are often bolstered by government subsidies. In his comments, Turk also called for an end to greenwashing, in which a company might deceive consumers by overstating a product's sustainability or understate its impact on the environment. He was also critical of figures who denied climate science. The United Nations Human Rights Council's 53rd session ends on July the 14th. So basically, climate change will be responsible for the coming inevitable famine, or rather one of the leading reasons why. Because we understand ultimately the Lord is the one that's about to create this famine. Because remember, it is written here in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, the 22nd verse, and it says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown." So the sown places are your supermarkets, your grocery stores, your 99-cent stores, your stores where you buy supplies, goods, and etc. All these sown places that have been scattered with goods, resources, will appear unsown, as if they had never been stocked up, as if they've never been built. They're just there as empty shells. The full storehouses, which hold all your goods, your foods, your shipments, your exports, your imports, shall suddenly be found empty. Why? Because there will be a famine. Okay? And the trumpet shall give a sound, and right now the trumpet is giving a sound. The trumpet is the scriptures. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, as it is written, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord had not done it? So the Lord is going to be the one that's going to be bringing all the pain, all the evil, all the bad times upon the world. Why? Because of their pride. Now, before I go there, let me finish off reading this. It says, "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which and every man heareth, and only the elect will hear." Okay, and consider, because not every man, even though they will hear it spiritually. Okay, because the Lord had made their ears heavy and their eyes dark, that they cannot see nor hear spiritually. They shall be suddenly afraid. Right. So only the elect of the nation of Israel will take heed to the sound of the trumpet that is being blown, that is the scriptures, and be afraid and repent and return back unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in truth and sincerity. But as for the rest of the world, they're going to be in trouble because of their great pride. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. "For many great miseries," one of those miseries is famine, hunger, "shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world." Why? Because they have walked in great pride. So all these different miseries, all these different calamities that the Lord will bring upon the earth, including famine, will be because of the pride that the people are accustomed and have been walking in. Okay, because especially women, because it's very common, especially here in the West, to see women walking in great pride, man. Far more than men, because this society is built for them, around them. Why do you think they have all these different metros, these different mother cities? And the chief of them is New York City, the belly of the beast, here in Babylon the Great, the epicenter of this man's kingdom. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 18. "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled." So not only will they suffer because they have walked in great pride, but also because of their pride, the cities in which they dwell in which they gallivant themselves in which they have fun in, shall be troubled. How are they going to be troubled? Because their cities are going to be closed down. They're going to be cut off. Food supplies are going to be cut off. We won't have access to certain goods and services. Things are going to be in calamity. Okay? And many will despair. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So, if men are going to be afraid that have always walked in great pride, and therefore their cities are going to be troubled, how much more women? How much more women? Because men will be as women, and if men are going to be as women, then how much more women themselves? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So a man will have no pity upon his neighbor. Because during those evils, men will only fend for themselves and their own. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, with the gun. Actual swords with guns, rocket launchers, grenades, machine guns, assault rifles, pistols. Okay, different tools of mass destruction. And spoil, which means to take their goods including their daughters, their wives, their sons, their actual food and drink. Okay, victuals in other words. Because of the lack of bread. Because of what? Famine, hunger, and for great tribulation. So great tribulation will be biting these people. Okay? So that concludes that article. Now let's move on real briefly to the next. Now this is from the Sputnik Poseidon. Characteristics of Russia's new unmanned submarine nuclear weapon. This year, Russia's already formidable arsenal of nuclear weapons may receive a new addition in the form Poseidon, a small nuclear-powered drone submarine about 20 meters long that can carry either a conventional payload or a nuclear warhead with a yield of up to 2 megatons, which is pretty massive. Okay. Other U.S. officials voiced their fears that Poseidon might wreak havoc on American coastal cities by creating a nuclear tsunami full of radiation. The following infographic contains all of the details about this weapon that are available to the public at this time. Here we have a brief image, the infographic image of Poseidon unmanned that can carry a conventional warhead or a nuclear warhead with a yield of up to 2 megatons of TNT. Okay, and compared to what else is out there, this is nothing, because the Tsar Bomba, well, not the Tsar Bomba, but its equivalent, the Satan II, which is a lot more upgraded and whatnot, can carry multiple warheads. These are known as MIRV. In some cases, you have MARV, okay? Or just a single warhead that has a ridiculous amount of yield, man. 50 megatons of TNT, perhaps. In some cases, 40, 30. Shit, even more. You never know. The Tsar Bomba had a maximum yield of 101 megatons of TNT. But they had to cut that in half because of, the sheer destructive firepower of the bomb. And that was the first nuclear bomb or hydrogen bomb that was ever created. And that was done so by the Soviets. Okay, now, again, here you have the infographic purpose: annihilation of enemies' main naval bases, destruction of large industrial facilities in the coastal zone, engaging enemy ships. Diving depth, 1,000 meters, sea endurance not limited, so it has unlimited sea capabilities. Okay, it can endure the sea, so to speak. Submerged speed, 100 to 130 kilometers per hour, which is pretty friggin' ridiculously fast. Now, considering it has unlimited sea endurance, Now, this is a good example of Joel, the 3rd chapter: beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So, These nations have been taking their economic wealth and using them towards the research, development, enhancements of weapons of mass destruction, primarily for ICBM nuclear missiles, okay, which according to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 25, are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. The word indignation means righteous anger, okay? So I'll conclude the lesson here. Lord is willing, it was edifying and informative. This has been a in the news walk and talk, so to speak. And again, according to Ezekiel, the 7th chapter, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none, because the Lord is about to bring many evils, bad times, and only evils upon the earth because of its pride, because of all the wickedness, okay, that pollutes it. Wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and its hurtful works are fulfilled. When something is fulfilled, it is accomplished. So the hurtful works that the rulership of the Edomites had done upon the earth has been accomplished, and now it is time for them to be stripped of their power and abased as slaves in their rightful position under the nation of Israel, okay, and the heathen nations. So with that, I say shalom to the elect. This has been a fine lesson.